What is up, YouTube? That's here today. I'm back playing some more Pokemon VGC Reg Wi-Fi battles. We are back to more Patreon team fixing, and honestly, this is one of the coolest teams I think I've ever seen submitted to the Patreon. It has a really unique playstyle, and it fits in exactly with how I like to play the game. It's going to feature Zacian with Ice Tera Weather Ball, AV Reshiram, one of my absolute favorite restricteds, on a snow team with like Snowscape, Tornadus, Encore, Aurora Veil, Ninetales, Shunpao, Ogerpon. This team has like everything that I like about the game. It has all the right speed tiers. It has just a sprinkle of like redirection, damage mitigation, a little bit of taunt. I just want to say, I think it's so cool that people like watch my content, join the Patreon, and then make teams in like the same style that I like to play the game. It really shows me you guys are paying attention and really absorbing the information that I put down. So I think this is a really cool team. If you guys wanted to check this team out for yourself, or you guys want some help with some teams yourself, think about checking out the Patreon. Link in the description. Even the lowest tier, the $2 tier, gets access to this submission post, all the rentals, every single thing that I do on Patreon. Bunch of content over there. Think about checking it out. And I'm trying to get to every single one of these teams before I leave for NAIC. We're at the top of the queue here. We're looking at Siren's team. It says, hoping to get your thoughts on this ragtag snow team. You're 252 clubbing it up using the same vernacular too. And since I threw together some old faves to see if they work well together, I'm open to anything as long as it includes Snow and Reshiram, which I think is very cool. They say, miraculously, I've won all my games, not because it's good, not because it's a good team, but probably due to confusion by the opponent. I appreciate any input. Please let me know if loaded dice backs could work. I'm considering replacing Orb Pow. I think that's actually really smart. I think this team is really like better than it looks on paper. Reshiram is really good into the current meta right now. There's probably only a couple things that have good matchups into it, probably being like Pagos and some Lunala sets. But that being said, it's good into a lot of different stuff. Ho-Oh might be a little bit of a hard matchup, but that's why we have like the Ogerpon. Like this team is actually made really well. You guys can take this rental code and probably just go on ladder and get like good wins with it. We're gonna play a few games with it in just a moment, but it has all the tools to actually like get control of the game and just maintain control of the game and win in a couple turns. Very cool stuff. Reshiram is deceptively bulky, which we're going to go over in just a sec. Let's take a look at some of these EVs here. It's going to be just a 252 club, like they said, for most of the stats on these mons here. You can see the Reshiram just 252. This thing hits like a truck, 150 base special attack. This thing's just as strong as like Shadow Rider is, and it's going to be doing massive damage. Zacian, this is the good Zacian set, being able to outspeed base 136s and speed creeping them. So like you're going to be able to outspeed like Miraidons, bundles, Koraidons, what have you. This is a bulky Torn set. Can be optimized just a little bit. I really like the Cloak here, and the Ground Tera there is an old classic, great into Miraidon, so I like that a lot. Ninetales, you don't need to be fancy with the sash, so good stuff. Same thing goes for Pow. You don't really need to get too different over here. I like the Pow set. And then the Ogerpon, you could optimize that just a little bit. I think Ogerpon's a really good mon to have on this team. I think it's really good insight to know that you need this mon on this team. Otherwise, like Incin and Ho-Oh would just give you far too many problems. So that being said, I think this is a really cool team, and I'm really excited to use it, guys. I just want to say thank you so much for watching not only these team fixing videos, but all of the other videos we've been making on YouTube. We've been doing a lot of team fixing recently, but we've also been just uploading like random, like, regional reviews, NAIC preps, different meme teams. I just want to say thank you to everyone that's been watching the content, helping us potentially get to 50K before the end of the year. If you guys want to help us get there, we're getting so close. We're getting so many subs every single day. And I just want to say once again, thank you so much for all the support. And without further ado, let's get right onto these games. Wish me luck. Here we go. Alright, so our first matchup is against Cleavor. I hate that. That's not like a real thing. Cleavor against the Snowscape Reshiram Pow team that's basically cheating, let's be real. Good thing is they don't have Intimidate, right? So even if they go like hands, they can't go like hands, Tailwind, and like Lunala, Trick Room, Miraidon, stuff like that. So like I realistically can just lead Zacian Torn to be able to make sure that Cleavor doesn't just absolutely rip us a new one. And then from there, I really do like the Reshiram. Love these nicknames, by the way. Very cool nicknames. And I'm thinking if I want to go Ninetales here. I think Ninetales could actually be viable here. And then since it is our Sash user, I think being able to catch something in an Encore could be really good. Like I could catch Iron Hands in an Encore. Blizzard's good into Miraidon. I'm thinking about it. Freeze Dry is good into Urshi Water. It's either Pow. Actually, you just got to bring Pow here. There's no reason not to bring Pow. Life Orb Pow kind of just slaps versus Lunala. And we have the Ice Spinner. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Pow on this team. They were actually talking about, when they submitted the team, about using Bax Caliber instead of Pow. I actually really like that. I think Bax Caliber would be a great mon on this team to cover up for, Zacian's ability to get wisped. So like pivot in, get that like thermal exchange boost, and then I actually, instead of like a loaded dice backs, which was previously good in like previous formats like Reg H, I think that like a Scarf Backs is probably the right way to play it. That way they see Miraidon, they're like, cool, this is fine. Then they're like, you're gone, you know, easy peasy. So that's the exact way that we thought we were going to see. I'm really hoping this is not Scarf Cleavor, right? Because I want to be able to just blow it up. If you want to go for like a Tera, waste your Tera here, I think that that's fine. We could also, now I like this play. We're in a Tailwind here, Behemoth Blade, trade the Tailwinds. You're then going to Encore my Torn, and I think I'm just going to maybe pivot, because I just got to get your Cleaver off the board. Like I cannot let you set rocks versus our team, bro. Like that's not a thing here. Please don't be sashed. Like I think you're probably Cloak. That's pretty standard on these guys. Nice. And you're probably thinking like, ha, and now I can Encore your Zacian and Behemoth Blade and move with Miraidon. And it's like, yeah, almost. You know, we're going to create a situation where they can't terrestrialize both. Or they can't pin both. If I were to flip on Ground Tera on my Torn, I have a lot of value. I'm going to flip on Ground Tera on my Torn, and I think I'm going to protect here, because I think they might go for like an Electro Drift into that slot and Encore it, because I can't really do anything else. If you would like to go for a, if I did this play, I protect and just taunt their whims, and they tried to Encore my Zacian, I can then just pin the Miraidon. I like that. I don't need to do anything weird. He's pinning out the Miraidon. Okay, are you trying to Encore lock me, good sir? Are you trying to Encore lock my Torn is another good question. They're fishing for Tera here, which is a really good play. Let's see if they're Encoring the Torn or the Zacian. Seeds boost Lunala is very strong. We have to taunt though. Don't Encore my Torn. Don't do that. Just Encore Zacian. Maybe they're not doing anything. I think they're Encoring the Torn, honestly. And then they're going to have the Encore and Zacian. We're just going to go for a double pivot, probably. Well, they can't Encore Zacian if the... Well, we'll see how this works. If they Encore the Torn first, we'll see how this goes. Great play from our opponent. That's the 100% pin. And we didn't do anything with our Zacian. Like, oh, that sucks. And now Zacian's going to get Encore pinned. Really, really bad to see for us. But that being said, I think we have a good line into their board. They're going to throw the Encore here. They will. They're going to throw the Encore here. But they know that we're going to throw the Encore here, right? So we're going to not fall for that. You could, if you want to Encore, there'd be my guest. I don't really care. They have to know that, like, I'm not going to let them do that. So they might try and get away with, like, just going for a Moonblast or something. Nice. Tera Lunala. What Tera are we going? Water? Maybe. Good Tera? Okay. Wonder why. And maybe they're doing this because they are ignoring the Zacian. It's a good play. I think they had to get the Torn off the board. There's the Encore. Well, that's fine. Like, we're really not losing any tempo here. I'm not pivoting any mons in here. I'm losing any tempo. You can Moongeist be my, my Reshiram, but that's fine. We have Fusion Flare, Heat Wave, Earth Power, Weather Ball. Wow. Whoa, was that a Tera Blast? That's not doing anything. Holy moly. Alright, so I think we just pivot. I think you pivot in POW. I think POW's a fine pivot in here. I don't care if you nuke that slot. It doesn't really bother me. I'm going to Heat Wave. I think this will KO the Whim since we are just a full special attack Reshiram. And then from there, the fact that we still have our Torn means that Miraidon can't lock into like an electric attack, which it really wants to lock in versus my board. Torn will be able to 100% pin. So I really, really like this play. I think this is safe. I think this is fair. Hopefully they're not going to be using like Protect Whims. Light Screen is obnoxious. Light Screen Encore Protect. Sorry, Light Screen Encore Moonblast. Ooh, Tailwind. Big Whims problems in this game here. But I think we're fine. Like, this doesn't do any damage, right? Like, AV Reshiram is so fat. Burns would be great here. That's to break the Shadow Shield on the Lunala. Tailwind Peters out. They're going to re-Tailwind. They're going to go after my POW. I'm going to pop a Protect. And give me one sec. I'm not seeing an issue with like Protect Heat Wave. I'm not. I feel like maybe I should just Fusion Flare something or like Earth Power into the Lunala, but like this is fine. Like, yeah, I'm okay here. They're electric seeds on the Lunala, but they have to like go through a lot of trouble to get rid of a POW here. And they still don't know that we're not Sash. I think that's another really big thing. They can go into the Reshiram, but like I'm okay with that. I just gotta hit this Heat Wave into Whimsicott. We're good. Man, this Reshiram is soaking all those Moongeist beams. There we go. Whim's off the board finally. We're going to be able to retail one eventually, but we're also going to get to see what that Miraidon walks into. If you walk into D-Gleam, you can't hit Zacian. And if you, well, you can, but it doesn't do any damage. And if you walk into an electric attack, you can hit Zacian, but you can't hit my Torn, right? So I think what we do in this exact slot, I know this looks kind of weird here. I think I'm just going to pivot out POW for Torn. Potentially lose the Reshiram. I think that's okay. Gonna do some damage from Miraidon, put it within range for a play rough. And then we'll see if we can get the win here. Man, this Reshiram ate so much damage though, too. That's crazy. We ate so much damage here. And so let's see what they're doing here. D-Gleam plus like Moongeist Beam into POW would get the KO. D-Gleam's fine. Yeah, good play from our opponent. Reshiram's still alive, hanging on by a thread. Ugh, good targeting. But I still think Zacian's in a fine spot, though, too. So no Tailwind, but again, we don't need Torn for anything anymore. You know what I mean? If anything, I don't want a Tailwind because I don't want to get Trick Room done by that Lunala, right? So I just have to wait out their speed control, I think, and win with POW. Look at that damage. That's through a light screen. That's through a light screen. That's so nutty. I think we're just coming with Zacian here. Dang, that's a lot of damage, dude. That's crazy. Okay. Zacian should be able to get this. Tailwind turns are 2. So, like, I think we'll just get the Miraidon off the board. Lose the Reshiram. I think that's fair. This would redirect into Lunala. Yep. So we can eat a Moongeist Beam here. And then we bring out POW and we just go double protect into, like, player F crunch win the game. I actually wonder if that is the right play. Obviously, we don't die here. Just gotta hit a play rough and win the game. Oh, why did I Sacred Sword? I thought I clicked play rough. Hello? I messed up massively. I really thought I clicked play rough. Like, oops. My fault. 100% my fault. Why did I click Sacred Sword there? Oh, you know why I clicked Sacred Sword? on the paste, they're in the wrong order. That's my fault. All right, so I'm gonna have to protect here. And sucker that Miraidon. That sucks. And if you make a read and Tera Blast my POW, I might lose. Completely my fault, though. Man, because what I wanted to have was both my Mons leveraging advantage versus this Lunala, and I wanted to actually go crunch, player up, lose 1 into, like, crunch again, like, win the game. Because if you Trick Room me here this turn, I might lose. Definitely possible to lose here if you Trick Room. Okay. I think I can eat a Tera Blast here, but let's see. Moongeist Beam. It is Zacian. Cool. We managed to win out here. Slight mistakes, right? Holy moly. That's what I get for playing like with like 6 teams in one day, right? Widescreen is now gone. Not really helping out in here. Tailwind's now gone, and all I gotta do is hit some moves. Let's actually use play rough. Like, that's the good move to use here. And go for the absolutely massive crunch. Crunch time. Sword of Ruin. Busted. Play rough. They have a defense boost, but like, we got it. Oof. Curtains. You don't got that AoE, baby. And so you can Moongeist Beam the Zacian, but just POW takes it. They're probably like hoping that we didn't have like Crunch. They're probably hoping that we just had Sucker. They're like, oh, if he has like Sucker, like, and you know, sometimes people carry Taunt or like an Ice attack. They don't always carry like Crunch or Throat Chop. You know, we're able to take it with POW. Pretty good stuff. We misplayed and still won. So pretty good stuff. Our opponent played that really well, actually, all things considered. Reshiram just didn't let them sweep us with special attackers. That's so good. Like, and that's a Reshiram set that honestly still needs to be like optimized. We could use a little bit more speed. We could use a little bit more spadef, a little bit more defense. We don't need nearly this much special attack. Like, imagine if we were able to eat like even 1 or 2 more attacks. That's the value, the bulk that Reshiram brings to the table. All right, cool stuff against this person pretty recently. Very cool team using Overquill, I always forget the name of that Pokemon, and Tinglu. Tinglu is going to be pretty decent into Reshiram, but I do think we have outs using things like Ogerpon, POW against it. Should be very good. The good thing about this is they don't let you just, like, there's no Incineroar. I'm not going to say they don't have Intimidate and Fake Out, because they have Rillaboom and they have Overquill, but they don't have Incineroar. So, like, I can just bring, like, Zacian and say, like, what's happening? What you doing over here? I think I will actually just lead with Reshiram. I think Reshiram's fine. I'm looking at Reshiram Ninetales and actually going for like a slower Aurora Veil game. I actually really like that. And then from there, you got to bring Zacian, and I really have to make a choice. Do I want Ogerpon or POW? And I'm going to choose Ogerpon. It has Sturdy. It's good into the Ho-Oh. It's good into the Ho-Oh. Oh, you see that Ho-Oh over there? This is a good mon of that Pokemon. It's also good in the Ting-Lu. Like, I vibe with it. Redirection for single target, like Grassy Guides and stuff like that. I think that's valuable. Plus, I want to use all the mons in the team. This is another game there as well, though. If I wanted to go Bax would have value here. So I can't wait to actually try and make Bax Caliber work on this team. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's one of those mons that like definitely deserves to see more play. And I think Bax, Reshiram like have some synergy together. So, Intimidate's up. I don't care. I should be fine here. I wonder if they're going to Tailwind me. I'm just going to Veil and probably soak a Barb Barrage or something from the Overquill. Do I just Earth Power it? Would you ever Tera in front of me? No. No, you wouldn't. It's funny how I can just hit that with a Fusion Flare and that's like viable. I think that gets the KO. And then I'm gonna, like I said, I think Aurora Veil is fine. Let's see if they Tailwind. Aurora Veil is gonna make this Reshiram like ultimate chunk city out here. Wish we had just a little bit more speed on this guy. Sacred Fire Ninetales? Oh, we eat that. We'll be eating. Eating good in the neighborhood. Arby's over here. Cool. It's burn, but that's fine. Now I can't get poisoned. Haha. Big damage. That's great. That's really good damage. Barb Barrage into Reshiram. Look at that. Nothing. Never lucky, though. That basically just mitigates, like, all of my Veil. Let's think about what we need to do to win this one. I'm going to rip a Blizzard, and I think I'm going to try and make a read. Yeah, I think I'm going to make a read on Blizzard. What would you pivot? You could pivot in Rilla for the Overquill. That's where I'm thinking. And then, like, as far as Ho-Oh goes, you might try and go into the Reshiram, but like, you don't really do anything to us. So I'm going to Earth Power there, keep you respectful, and just rip a Blizzard. Yeah, that's fine. Aurora Veil is still good. It's only 5 turns since we don't have the Light Clay, but, like, I vibe with it. I wish I didn't get double status on turn 1. I might have been able to play a little bit of a longer game with, like, Encore. Maybe actually preserve the Ninetales for a little bit. That would have been kind of nice, but as it stands, we should be able to bring in, like, Zacian or something. Life Dew. See, that's encoreable, homie. That is encoreable. Cool. That thing goes down. I'm going to encore your Ho-Oh, not care about it anymore, and just start popping your teammate. If you send out Kali-I, like, Reshiram's able to do some pretty good stuff, especially if we even like a Protect first. Oh man, that'd be so funny. Yeah, let's see what happens. I don't know if you go Kali-I here. I don't think you do. I don't think you do. Don't maybe go Ice Terror, resist that Lance, and gain defense boost. Like, I'll do it. I'm thinking about it. Ogre Pawn. I should outspeed it. They very rarely do see Ogre Pawns rock like full speed. Ninetales is like base 109 speed, but we should be able to outspeed. But like we have Freeze Stride too. That's such a. Are you just gonna let yourself get Freeze Stride, bro? No way. No way. There's no reason to even make that play. I'm gonna pivot out my Reshiram for my Ogre Pawn. Because I'm gonna Encore them into Life Dew. Or am I gonna Ogre Pawn do that? No, I like this play. Hold on. Over-respect the Ogre Pawn. Really good play from our opponent. Solid, good-looking play from our opponent. Masterclass in Dacian. And let's see what they got here. Could have encored that Ho-Oh. Oh, that ain't doing anything, bro. You thought I was going to swap? No. Stop. He gets some help. Cool. We're not even losing tempo for this. That's cool. That's cool. And we know they have Kali-I in the back, so this is a really good line to do. We just nuke that slot. Solid. They're trying to tick me out, and it's just not going to work. And eventually we're going to have a board state that's like Ogre Pawn and Zacian and just win out from there. Yep. Let's go. Don't make me. I could encore the Ogre Pawn. I don't think I need to. I think there's a good chance that like I want to be able to pin. I want to do this damage. I want the Ogre Pawn gone, not like encored. I want it just gone. I don't want to even show encore yet in case they like try and go like Tera here and then like Life Dew or something. I want them to think that they're like trapped there, so I can encore them into Life Dew. They go into Kali, but then I have Ogre Pawn and yeah, they're pivoting out for Kali-I most likely, right? And so this is gonna do extra chip from the Freeze Dry, and that Fusion Flare is gonna hit hard. Hard. Love it. Don't need to show the Encore yet. You see how, like, we're not, like, revealing additional info. We're actually just sticking more damage. We didn't have that extra 3% before. We take that all the way to the bank, bro. Sacred Fire, we're good. I take more damage from poison. Big damage. Full special attack. Fusion Flare. Oof. He's almost gone. See how they didn't life do there? Not that it would have done anything. Lefty's Cali. You know what that means? That means you have Protects. Think about what I want to do here. You're gonna go after last turn of Veil. They don't know that. Last turn of Snow. They're gonna go after the Ninetales. They're gonna protect Cali and go after Ninetales, right? Right? They're gonna go protect Cali and Life Dew, right? Ooh, I like that play a lot, actually. Hold on. That means the right play is Heat Wave and Encore into Sacred Fire. Yep. We just don't even want to Life Dew at this point. And then they're stuck using Sacred Fire, but then we have Ogre Pond Redirection with Tera. And then we're always going to be able to pin the rest of their mons, I think. Yep. And they're running out of Sacred Fires. I think that's their third or fourth. Cool to hit the Ho-Oh, but it's not required. Cool. Free damage. Let's go. Snow has stopped. Aurora Veil Dunzo. I think we just come in with Ogre Pond and win the game. Because, like, what do you do? What do you do when I use Ogre Pond? All of my opponent's Pokemon are gone. You're going to have to Tera. And I know what Tera you like. You like that Grass Tera Ho, right? Can't Tera both. Let's go. Rip it. Heat Wave. Gaming. Oh, I'm cooking. We're losing our weakness. Sorry, our neutrality to Sacred Fire. We're getting a defense boost on top of it, and we're swinging hard on this Ogre Pond set. Really, really like what we're doing here. So let's see what they got here. I think we're in a good spot. We have stabilized. They're stuck using Sacred Fire. I just got to hit a Heat Wave onto their Cali. I think they might just pivot out the Cali for Ogre Pond, but then they're at the mercy of Burns. They're really thinking here, do I pivot out Cali? They're pivoting out the Ho-Oh. Uh-oh. Goodbye. I think there's a weird option where maybe they Terastallize their Cali. Good play. I think if that's what they're going to do. Like if they have like a Water Tera, I don't need to double into that slot. Like, if you Trick Room me, you Trick Room me. I think that we're actually in a good spot with Ogre Pond. This defense boost is going to slap, and they're going to lose their Ogre Pond this turn. So let's see it. Defense boost, boys. Big damage. Let's go. No Tera. Nice. As long as we hit this Heat Wave, we win the game, I think. Be cool to get the crit, but I don't know if it's needed. I don't think so. Ooh, look at that damage. Heat Wave. It's within Heat Wave range. Heat Wave, yes! Reshiram busted! Oh my gosh, that double KO! Critical hit the Calyrex, we didn't even need that one. You wait till those wins all the way to the bank. You have a Ho-Oh in the back. But Reshiram, you gotta be this tall to ride. It's one of those jank stoppers. Like, they got a really good turn one on us. They poisoned us, they got a burn on us, and we're just like, nope. Like, I'm just gonna sit here. I'm Reshiram, and imagine how good this team's gonna be once it's like optimized EVs. Because I think the Mons that were chosen were really good. The Teras that were chosen, the tech that was chosen was really, really nice. But is probably not gonna be it. You're gonna Tera here, I think, or just Protect. But that's gonna be game. Like, we do be having this one. And let me see that Grass Tera though. Let me see it. Let me see that Grass Tera. Show me that Grass Tera. Fairy Tera, that's standard. How about a Behemoth Blade in the face, though? How about a Behemoth Blade for good old-fashioned sake? Let's see what they do here. What you got going on there, Chief? Ivy Cudgel these, though. Dunk. Can I get a crit? Crit. No, never lucky. Dude, Ogre Pond is so good. Sacred Fire. He's trying to burn the Ogre Pond. Don't care. Don't care. Reshiram ticks out. Next turn we just bring out Zacian and we go follow me. Behemoth Blade, win the game. GG's. Unless I get a crit here, Reshiram. Woo! Ah, never lucky. Almost. Almost had that one with Reshiram. It's okay. We're going to take the wins here. But we used all the different mons in the teams over these last couple games. And I really want to say, I really think this is a well-made team. It's really cool, like, having someone be a part of our, like, community in my Patreon for a really long time. And then seeing them, like, develop as a player and then make the same sort of, like, tech choices that I'd make. It just shows, like, I think that, like, you're really understanding the whole content that, like, I'm trying to, you know, push. All the different, you know, mons I say are good and stuff like that, the way that I like to play. It's really cool to see, like, my way of play, you know, appear in other people's teams. I just want to say I really appreciate it, and I think this is a really, really cool team. I can't wait to work on it. It plays the game at the exact tempo that I like, using mons that I like. It uses the right forms of speed control, redirection. It plays the game at just the right tempo, and it's a little bit off meta, right? It uses mons that people don't normally use, without really being jank. I just think it's definitely, it just has like that's a +1 vibes. So what we're going to be doing right now is just looking at the team, optimizing a bunch of the EVs, and then from there just talking a little about what we might change, and then probably going into some games and kind of like trying our best to, you know, win after we make a couple changes. So the first thing I wanted to do is, I think POW is good on this team, but I don't think you need it. I think a lot of the things that POW does on this team, you could be doing with the Baxcalibur, which is a Pokemon they actually wanted to see me feature in this team. So Baxcalibur is good here, but I think the thing about Bax here is I think you got to be using, I want to use like a Scarf Bax, which actually still has to unfortunately be at least like this fast. And then from there, like, you know, you might as well just 252 it. But like, honestly, you only need to be right there to be able to outspeed Cali Shadows and outspeed like Adamant Urshas and stuff like that. And so you can go with like a 252 up here and do like probably a 4, maybe I put 12 in there and then 4, because you're gonna get the defense drop from Glaive Rush, right? So I like this set on Bax with making it like a choice Scarf set. And I actually just like to double dip my Dragon Tera. You have things like Glaive Rush, massive damage. You have things like Icicle Crash, sorry, goes for those flinch. If we check out other physical moves here, if we want to use Scarf Bax, it's just one of my favorite sets. If you don't like the Scarf Bax, please just send me a message and let me know. And I'll be able to change some things. I think High Horsepower is still pretty good. I think Dragon Tail is also not terrible. Iron Head is actually somewhat viable if you know they're going to be going into like a Fairymon or something like that, if you can make a read on the Miraidon. That being said, Crunch is also just very viable. Like, oh, you have Shadow Rider? It's like, no, you don't have Shadow Rider. I think stuff like probably those are probably what I would use. I think that's fine. I think that's a good set. So that being said, the only other things we want to change is normally you'd want to cut your EV spread up like this, but since this mon is a sturdy mon, we don't necessarily need to do that. And then into the Ninetales, I think you're not really having anything wrong with just having a 2v2 set on a set just like this. I really, really like it. I think it's a good set. It worked in the match that we played. The Torn, very, very, like, that's +1-esque. I think you only really need this much, 180 there, to be able to actually, like, live through, like, you know, Urshi Water, Surging Strikes and stuff like that. I like to play this guy with Cloak, with Rocky Helmet, but Cloak really works on this team. I felt very in control when I used this mon. So just move the EVs around like slightly. I think it's a good set. The Zacian set, I've used a set before. Getting you to 209 is going to let you outspeed all the Miraidons and Koraidons and bundles running around. This is the Zacian set that you want. And then the Reshiram. This is the mon that needs the most amount of tweaks, because if we hit with like a Bleak Wind, we need to be able to actually capitalize and outspeed base like 101 speed mons. So that's going to be something right here is going to let us outspeed that. And if you want to outspeed like things like Tornadus and other genies, that's right here. So I think you want to get up here with Reshiram. That's just my opinion. You don't have to, but I think it's probably a good idea. And then I think we don't need like that much special attack. We can probably just play for bump, which is right here between 207 and 209, and then just frees up a couple extra points to put in a couple extra stats. We're going to put the 12 in Spadef and just 4 here. So we're a little bit weaker, but now we have the right speed and we have like just slightly more bulk. But I really do like, I want to say, the Ice Tera Reshiram with like the Weather Ball. We didn't get to do that tech. That is so freaking cool. I want to do that once at least. I think that'd be a lot of fun to do. I think this team, you know, they were talking about their submission for it, right? And they were saying they won like every testing game. And they don't know why they really won. They say probably due to confusion by opponent. That's a skill. Like, you understand how this team works, which is great. You understand that you can set your speed tiers, you have damage mitigation, you have good like defensive damage mitigation through the use of like Aurora Veil and Hail, stuff like that. You have redirection and a good Zacian to close. So you understand exactly what you need to do to win, and you force your opponent to have to solve for X in a situation in which they're not really comfortable. What they're going to see when they look at this team is like, okay, there's speed control here, a little bit of AoE special attack, or they might see a line where they just use like a lot of like ground moves to shove you in here, which really makes it so like, what are most of the common ground moves in the format other than Landorus Eye? They're all going to be physical, which means when you flip on this Tera Ice in the snow, you're going to be able to not only weather ball them back for super effective if they stab them, but you're going to be able to mitigate all that damage, which is so nice. And then from there, they're probably going to see your team and think like, oh, you have weather, and then you probably have like redirection with like setup backs. And when you just lead like backs Reshiram and just like blow up their Shadow Rider on the first turn or blow up their Miraidon, and they're just like, wait, what? You know, that's awesome. That's great. That's doing exactly what you need to do to win. So this isn't really that much of a fixing because I really just like this team and I think it's a great one already. What we're going to do now is just go play some games and see if it holds up. All right, here we go. Kyogre, Clef, Torn. That's pretty obnoxious. I think I'm going to lead Reshiram and Torn into this. I think I could even lead Ninetales, but Ninetales would outspeed the Ogre. We don't really want to do that. These two are probably fine with like Zacian in the back, and then I'm going to bring the backs. I think backs is actually still really good into Ogre. I probably could have led with it too if I wanted to. That being said, what is the play here? We're going to flip on... Snowscape's good. I'm clicking. Oh, wait. Yeah, I'm going to do that. And then next turn, I'm going to Tailwind to give us a longer Tailwind. Because right now, we're just taking away his Steroid. It's neutral into here anyways. Like, I don't really care. It doesn't get the KO. Dumpied into that Torn. Oh my gosh, that's what we like to see out here. Even if they bring out something like, yeah, Zacian, that's fine. You're going to be able to, like, throw in, like, a Sacred Sword or something. Or not Sacred Sword. Let me think about that. You're going to Behemoth Blade here, right? How much do I really care about that? And can I do anything about that? Because I can elongate the tail and I can like pivot in here, but I'd lose that slot. Let's see what happens. How's Gamon? You can take this guy out. Bye, Reshiram. Oh, they go to the wrong slot that they thought we were going to protect. That's a misplay. Dumpied. Oh my gosh, bro. What are you doing out here? Now you have Sash. Dude, I'm gaming. I'm gaming, bro. Let's go. If we double into there, that's good. I don't think there's an issue with like Heat Wave, Glaive Rush, and then Zacian just closes out Ogre. That's fine. I know Heat Wave's like, it's like, don't Heat Wave, it's in the sun, or it's in the rain. That's fine. Glaive Rush, boys. Oof. We lived that. Hit the Heat Wave. We just missed on Pow. GG's, we lost. That sucks. That just lost us the game. Oh my god. Never lucky. That's really unfortunate. Best thing we can do is just go for a play rough into this. Maybe this sort of Ruin Shred will carry us to victory. This is their last turn Tailwind. Electric Tera. Okay. That works for me. Oof. Origin Pulse? Oh, we outsped the Ogre too. Could have doubled into that. Oh, Weak Spout. Weak Spout. We win. Cool. So we know we take out there. This guy can't really fight us. So as long as we take out in that situation, we're good to go. So we would just use Weather Ball there and just go for a move that can't miss, which is Behemoth Blade. Protect there is fine. You can't do anything here. You can Sucker Punch there, but like we don't have to care about that. We have to worry about this Kyogre ripping like, I don't know, like an Origin Pulse or a Hydro Pump. I think it's the only thing we really have to worry about. Like, I don't care if you want to Sacred Sword me, go bro, go for it. Yep. They can try and crit out. Crit wouldn't even get it from there. So they take the L and we take the win. Another game. We used Weather Ball. Kyogre's a pretty weird matchup, but like Bax was kind of nice. Another Zacian Ogre. Okay. Let's try those two. We used Bax last time. I don't think Bax is great into Zacian. We were a little pinned in the last one because we were using Bax, but let's see what happens here. Now remember, our Torn's going to be slower than their Torn, so we should be able to always have our weather control. They're going to think they can just run into this, and they cannot. So I will be Tailwinding and just Blizzarding. You can pop a Tera, you can pop a Behemoth Blade. I don't care. Reshiram's in the back. Your Landorus can't do everything. You have to expend a massive amount of resources just to be able to play the game here. Like Tera protects, get Encore potentialed, show Behemoth Blade, You're potentially letting me set a Roar Veil. Like, so you don't really even want to protect. Like, it's really incentivizing our opponent to go for those, like, trades. Tailwind's up, no protects, and they're risking getting frozen on that Zacian too. KO the Lando, easy peasy, that's a Zacian check down. And you see how we didn't really lose anything for it. Cool. Awesome. Kyogre, there it is. So we just Snowscape up. Snowscape, pivot in Reshiram, unless I wanted to Encore. No, I can go Snowscape, Freeze Dry. I vibe with that. If you want to protect, that's fine. No freeze, never lucky. Ooh, they're making reads. Weak Spout. This is actually still really good for us because we still have a Tailwind up. So they could have their Torn, which means they might be protecting here. I think what I'm going to do is just Heat Wave and that. I'm going to respect Ogre because I want to be able to, either they're going to lose the Ogre or they're pivoting out Ogre for Torn, hoping I'm ignoring. You see, like, I like this play a lot. Yep. And yeah, you can bring out Torn here, but like, you don't do anything against this board at all. Right. That was a really good line from us. Ursh, cool. It could be Scarf. We got the right lines here. I think you just Fusion Flare plus Behemoth Blade into that slot, honestly. Like, we just went with Reshiram in this situation. I think. There it is. Like that Behemoth Blade read, boys? Oh my gosh, where you looking? Oh my gosh, where were you looking? We take those wins all the way to the bank. That was sick. That was so good. Let's go one more. Oh, that was nice. Yeah, you just double into that slot. Protect on cooldown. Cool. All right, Shadow Rider Terrapagos. 1410. Pretty decently rated player. In Sin's problematic. I like Reshiram into this matchup. I think Reshiram's good. You can just break Ogerpon. I think those two are really good. I think Ninetales could actually be really good into Terrapagos too. So I'm going to bring the Ninetales. And I'd like to bring Bax. I just don't think that it's going to be right. I don't think Ogerpon's right either. I think I'm going to bring the Zacian. We could definitely lose this one. And they have all the tools. They have the Fake Out Cycling, the Encore Disable, potential on the Shadow Rider. They're leading in Sin and Terrapagos. Don't make me just blow up your Terrapagos, homie. I could do it. I'm gonna taunt there, and I think I'm gonna switch in my Ninetales. You could fake out Ninetales. I don't really care. I don't think that they do that, but let's see what happens. Yeah, it's a good play. Breaks my sash. No setup. Whoa, where are you looking, huh? Wow, what a little guy he is. I don't need Tailwind here. My mons are not faster than theirs, but they're chonky enough. I'm gonna go for a Bleak Wind. Cool. Yeah, that works. Takes away my Veil. I could have Snowscaped over that. I really didn't think they were going to do that. I really did not. Nice. And then you go for a Blitz, right? Oh, Parting. Cool. I didn't even lose anything for that, bro. I can just re-Snowscape. I can go Snowscape Veil. I can go Tailwind. I still got a lot of outs here. I don't know about that one. Ogerpon. Okay. I bet I'm faster. I really do. I'm going to Tailwind. I think saving Zacian is probably right, though. What if I just went, like, Blizzard? Blind Blizzard in there. Actually, you know what? Let's just respect it. I'll be respectful. I don't want to miss. I need these boosts, so you're going to get a double KO here, but Tailwind's now up. And then these guys are great. So you can follow me there. And do what here? Like, that's the real question. I think I just Sacred Sword there. Cool. Yeah. Even if they brought in Sin, it was going to go down. Okay. And Sin's a problem. Not one we can't deal with. I've already used 3 Star Storms. And you have Fake Out up. So I had to protect Zacian, I think. Good, take the bait. Perfect. Shadow Rider comes out. There's the last turn of Tailwind. There are shots that we win here. There are shots. I know they don't look very good. They definitely do exist. See if the Shadow Rider protects. If there's some sort of like weird Shadow Rider, we can just win the game this turn. It would redirect. GG's, we lost. They weaved in a... What did they do? They double protected. That's a great play. Okay. That's a good play. Not much I can really do about that. I have to just hope that Shadow Rider's not sashed. I hate that. Yeah, we're just gonna go Heat Wave and then Behemoth Blade then. Yeah, it sucks. I think we lose. Turns Zacian's gonna take too much damage. It is Sash Shadow Rider, cool. So at least I made the right play with Reshiram. We do get the KO on the Shadow Rider. No burn, never lucky. They didn't even Terra Starstorm. If I crit with Fusion Flare, I'm cooking, but like I don't think so. Dude, we got like 2 more shots. He's gonna protect you. Leftovers procs. That's a good play. I think we tried our best in this one. I think this is a bad matchup for us. I do think it is. We tried to weave in Ninetales and get a little bit of value. It didn't work. Let's go into another one and see if we can close this one out with a win. You can't win them all, right? I think Terapagos is a bad matchup, and that's not your fault if you lose that one. So Shadow Rider, Miraidon with Bundle, and a little bit of Trick Room stuff. So I don't think we need Torn in this matchup. I think we can actually just lead Reshiram and be like, hey man, like what are you going to do over here? Reshiram is good. Backs? That's smooth. I like that goes down smooth. Gotta bring Zacian. I'm all about that. Bro, they leave Miraidon, they see no Zacian, they're like, I can just pop your Reshiram, and it's like, actually, Bax Caliber is here. That is like, whoo. Let me actually think, do I want Ninetales? Yeah, so we had Reshiram, Bax. I'm gonna go Ninetales, Zacian. I don't think I need Overpawn. Show me Miraidon. First slot. Shadow, okay, bad. Oh, it's good, okay. What's the play here? Someone's getting dumpied on, turn 1. Now, you might Terra Fairy here, because, like, you think that I have, you know, something. I can just crunch that. I think I'm going to crunch it and just go for the Earth Power. See ya. Probably thinking, what does this Bax do? We about to learn today. Bruh. Oh my gosh, that's so good. It's insane, right? Paragraph, that's fine. Free damage. Value. Dumpied. Awesome. If you go Miraidon, you're going to Volt Switch into hands, and so I know that, and I'm just going to dumpster your Giraffe right here. If you want Draco me, you can. Nice. Volt Switch. Draco. That's absolutely fine. Are you Trick Rooming with that thing still on the board? Psychic. Cool. That works. So that will KO. Crunch doing so much. So that still gets the KO. And now, like, yeah, that's it. I have 2 fairies in the back, bro. Oh, dude, that's so good. See, like, Bax is the tech right there. He tried to absolutely fold us in half, and we're like, nah. Not today. Bax Caliber comp busted. Choice Scarf, good. That's so much damage into a defense boosted Farigiraf. That was so good. So yeah, that's the team. Hopefully you liked it. I think the team was like basically submitted almost perfect right off the rip. For how I like to play it. I feel like it's a little bit meme, it's a little bit anti-meta, but if you weave in like, you know, the Roarveil potential, the defense boost on this Reshiram with the Ice Terra is actually really, really cool. You can tell when we're winning with this team, it's really hard for opponents to get back into the game, and that's the strength that this team has. So hopefully you like the changes. I think you did a great job on this team, and if anyone else has any teams they want some help with, think about checking out the Patreon. We're doing our absolute best to fix every single one of these teams before I leave to NAIC, and I think upon the time of, you know, recording this video, I've done every single rental code. I have one more Pokepaste to get. Remember, if you guys submit a rental, every single rental is going to get made into a video. Every single Pokepaste is just going to get a fix and given back within a day or two. But trying to get to all of them this month, and all of this for the low price of $2 a month. I think it's definitely worth it. You get a bunch of my behind-the-scenes NAIC prep. You get all of my rentals. You see me feature in all of my videos. Like, all the different teams you guys see over here and stuff like that all get made to rentals eventually and put up on the Patreon for you guys to use as well. Think about checking out the Patreon if you're at all interested in that sort of stuff. And other than that, thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out. I'll see you guys next time.